I tend to ramble when I tell stories, so I'm going to try to keep it a little bit linear instead of circular. I never intended on having a YouTube channel or be a YouTuber. I am very introverted. I don't want to be in the spotlight ever. And so when I was up here camping on my land before there was a house, I would come up here on vacations and weekends. And, you know, even still, the internet is such a problem. And so I had problems sending pictures or videos or voice text messages to my adult children. And then coworkers and friends would ask me about the place, and it was hard to remember who I told what. So I ended up putting them on little videos and putting them on YouTube so people could watch. And then a woman, and I have a little video talking about her a little bit on my channel. She saw me say something on Twitter about, I think it was Twitter, and I have a horrible memory, so there's that. But so she saw me on Twitter, and the question was something along the lines of, if money was no object, what would you do? And I said something along the lines of, get my house built, buy the next lot, move up to my land in West Virginia. And so she messaged me, and she had been looking, she's from an eastern state, and she was looking at West Virginia land all the way from the eastern side to the Ohio-West Virginia line. But she was a little anxious about buying and settling in, you know, making sure to make the right choice. And so she said that I inspired her and that she bought her land. Well, that little stinker, I'm happy for her, but she saw my tweet, and then so she got to know me a little bit. I didn't really have a YouTube channel yet. I had a written blog and pictures, but I didn't, my channel, my videos were still for family and friends. And so she ended up moving up here, getting a larger chunk of land than I have. It's beautiful. She got her house, she got moved up here, and she got retired, and she's retired living on her land, which is my ultimate dream, to try to retire. And I'm living up here now, but yeah, so she kind of beat me to it. Yeah. And so she beat me to it, and that excited me because as older women looking at retirement and looking at doing this alone, it's very scary at times, but wonderful at the same time. But all of those doubts creep in. Can I do it? Is it stupid? Should I do it? And so because I inspired her, I thought I should maybe show a little bit more of my story. As much as I'm still an introvert, can't tell a story in a linear line, you know, I decided I would show a little bit more of it. And if I can do it, I think a lot of people could do it. And it's scary, but it's worth it. And also mixed in that one of my coworkers, I lived on the outside of Baltimore, and one of my coworkers, she was retirement age, and she kept saying, I can't wait till retirement. And she had it circled on the calendar, and you know, she had kind of her plans, and she wanted to move either, she was originally from West Virginia, and she either wanted to move out to the mountains or she wanted to move to a beach area. And then sadly she got cancer and passed away before she could retire. And so I thought, you know, I just need to hurry up and get busy on this and get it done and pick up the torch. And I make references to her in some of my videos, and anything to do with Country Roads Take Me Home or Fireball, you know, things like that. Yeah, so I decided I needed to hurry up, get this done, and maybe show other people so they could do it too. I don't know, well, there may be a thank you video. It kind of grew, and more people started to see it, like that woman who moved here to her retirement place. And so it started to grow a little bit, and a few YouTube channels started watching me But I think when M&T Homestead, somewhere between when my friend moved up here and beat me to it, and M&T, I always say M&T. Yeah, MT Homestead. Mike gave me a shout out, and I thought, that really struck me as how kind and supportive, but then also like a real YouTube channel watches me. Um, yeah. So I don't know, it just kind of naturally started to turn into making it for more, strangers to watch. Well, I really don't know, because it's just a matter of I've been trying to show people, like with the quail, you can have quail, or look, I got chickens. I've been dreaming of chickens all these years. I built the chicken coop and it still hasn't blown down. And so, I don't really think of it in many terms of, I want to be at this certain number, or, I've heard people who start Instagrams or YouTubes and they're like, I just want to be famous, or I want to have the most numbers. Yeah. And I don't think of that in terms of that. Now, the more I'm on Tuber Chat and the more I see some other channels really start to explode, and then, because I don't even know what numbers get what privileges, but I have learned about the community tab, and I thought, ooh, I would like one of those, I think. And so, yeah, I think about that now, and I'm also an Amazon affiliate, and I have been for a very long time, but it's not lucrative by any stretch of the imagination. But every once in a while, I get like a little $10 coupon from Amazon for being an affiliate, and I like to use that then to make a purchase. And so if I had a little bit of that benefit from YouTube, that would be exciting. Yeah. But other than that, I really haven't had many thoughts. A lot of people say, this is going to be my job, or this is going to be, whatever, these numbers, or this, I want to be recognized by this, whatever. And I don't think of it in that way. I work in the mental health field. I'm a therapist for special needs children, mental health special needs. And of course, there's a fly in here going to pest me. Of course. Better than a snake, I guess, so I shouldn't complain. It is about 45 minutes drive, but when I lived near Baltimore, I drove 45 minutes on the Beltway during a fast commute. Sometimes my commute around Baltimore was a 2-hour drive if there was an accident or stopped traffic. So when people say you drive from that teeny town to here to work, oh my gosh, and I'm like, no, I love it. I'm off the Beltway. It was Twitter. I'm on, barely, barely, but I am a little bit. I can't even tell you what name I am on Twitter. It would be something along the lines of Dawn Rae. Everything is Dawn Rae, whether it's Dawn Rae B or Dawn Rae 64. I'm on Instagram. I follow the most homestead folks on Instagram, and I think it's Dawn Rae 64 on Instagram. And then I have a Facebook, but that's basically only personal. That's been to keep up with my kids. So my kids, I have 2 sons, and they're adults, and they were deployed in the Army and that kind of thing. So I had Facebook so that I could, sometimes it was easier for them to send messages through Facebook. Thank you. Thank you. So anyone watching that has served, thank you for your service. I had no clue about military. I was not from a military family. I had absolutely no clue until my oldest son joined. And when he was in high school, I'm kind of embarrassed to admit it now, but I didn't know about the military. And the recruiters kept calling and I would just hang up. So he really wanted to join, so he brought one home and, you know, he says, "Mom, this is recruiter. Recruiter, this is mom." And I'm like, I don't know whether to be proud that you're so tenacious or whether to kick your behind. And they both joined, and it gave me such a respect for military families and what they go through, and military folks, and that they're willing to serve our country. And it's kind of like when people in my field say, let me think how I want to say this, because I'm kind of a bull in China shop sometimes. So, you know, people in the social work field, the mental health, you know, caring professionals field, they're like, oh my gosh, the military? And I'm like, well, it's kind of being like a social worker, but you get to have a gun to protect yourself. It's kind of the same in a way. Yeah. And so, yeah, I'm really proud of my boys, and I'm really thankful for anybody who serves like that, who serves our country. I'm in West Virginia, and so I'm in the northern, eastern side, the Panhandle. Yeah, the Eastern Panhandle. No, hurricanes are not a concern for me, but we do, as the hurricanes come up the East Coast, sometimes we get the heavy rain from it. And I know that from camping up here. I don't remember, a couple years ago, there were bands of rain from the hurricane or tropical storm, but yeah, otherwise hurricanes aren't a concern. So I have the quail, and right now I have 2 hutches of quail. I have the adults, and then I have the young quail. I just moved out of the living room outside. Having a brooder inside is not my favorite thing, but I have a really small place, and I don't have a garage or a barn. So I have the quail. I have 17 chickens, and I have 3 rabbits, but the rabbits aren't doing anything. They probably need to go to freezer camp. And then I have 2 dogs and a cat. Willie is a treeing feist, so he's a squirrel dog. He chases squirrels up trees. And then Daisy is a rat terrier. And I love rat terriers. One. Yes, the cat's kind of mean. She chases the dogs. Yeah, she's kind of a naughty cat. I adopted her from the animal shelter outside of Baltimore, and they put a delay on her spaying because she bit or scratched. I don't remember. She attacked the veterinarian. So they put her on hold for a little bit longer because, you know, they hold them for a little while to make sure that they're okay. And then they put them up for adoption. And so they held her for a little bit longer. So she's a naughty cat. Her love language is putting her teeth on you. It's not really biting. She doesn't draw blood or anything, but kind of scratching or putting her teeth on you. So she's a little intimidating. Not on a daily basis at all. The help I'm getting with the channel is through people like you and Tuber Chat and MT Homestead, and that kind of encouragement and support, that kind of thing. Who helps me up here? I have some friends. My best friend still lives in Baltimore, and so when he comes up, he helps with things, like he's helped me cut firewood and that kind of thing. But as gas prices has limited everybody's travel quite a bit, so he hasn't been up as often. And then when my kids are here, they help me, when they come to visit. But we had the first visit that they've come since the house has been built. Over Labor Day weekend, they came up. And so they did some things, but on a daily basis, no, it's just me. So I'm trying to find that balance. How can I be as self-sufficient as possible, but I can't be self-sufficient because I'm just one person working a job Monday through Friday. So how to keep that balance where I'm not burnt out or, tired of things. Right now, everything is still joyful. So how to keep that balance. No, I kind of messed that up by moving up here. So when I bought the land in 2015, and I planned on just coming up here and camping. And in my 60s, I just turned 58. So in my 60s, I was going to be debt free. My plan was to have put in the septic, paid cash, did a little this, paid cash, a little that, and then be able to retire, have the house built, maybe pay cash for it and retire. I got so tired of not being here permanently that I downsized my house plans. My house is only 640 square feet, 1 bedroom, 1 bath. And so I downsized no daylight basement. I really wanted a daylight basement, but downsized that to get the mortgage to move up here as quickly as possible. So, and then I traded in the Jeep and bought the truck because moving in a Jeep Wrangler would have taken me 3,000 trips, and I haul my own water, so I needed a truck. So now I'm not only not debt free, I have the house payment and the truck. So when is retirement? I don't know, maybe in my 90s now, but that's okay. For the longest time, I thought I wanted goats before I moved up here. I thought, I can't wait to move, I want goats. I don't know, the deer population up here is so huge, and they keep everything so grazed or browsed, the trees browsed down, that I'm thinking, no, that might not be a good idea. I don't have a barn to store hay and all of that. And so then I've thought a little bit about maybe a couple sheep because the grass, And so I don't know, I'm still kind of torn about that. So I'll probably stick with just the chicken and quail and maybe rabbit. I want to garden, and when I was camping up here, I put in tomatoes and zucchini. For several years, I put in tomatoes and zucchini, and I would come up here to go camping and there would be tomatoes and zucchini. This year was terrible. That friend and another friend came over and helped me put a fence up so I could get my blueberries planted. I had blueberries on my patio in Baltimore area, just outside of Baltimore, and in buckets. And so they came over and they helped so I could get those planted. So I have a little blueberry patch. Hopefully next year we'll do something. And I put some plants in containers, but this year things didn't grow this year. It was really super hot and really dry. So yeah, it was terrible. Yeah, so I bought a stock tank, so I have that for a raised bed, and the dry beans are doing pretty good in that. And I have a whole bunch of containers, the cattle mineral bucket things, those real big mineral buckets. So I bought those and I filled those up, but those plants, they just did didn't do well. So yeah, I hope to have a garden at some point. I'm just not, I'm gonna have to probably do everything in containers, and I'm just not sure how I'm gonna pull it off. This place has started to populate. It used to be quarter mile that way was my closest neighbor, and then this way the two houses were always empty except for some weekends or some hunting seasons. And so then the next neighbor that really lived here was probably quarter mile that way. But suddenly a lot of people have moved up here. So I'm meeting some of the newer neighbors. I knew some of the neighbors. I'm not the most neighborly person, which is something I'm trying to change. So I like my neighbors up here very much, but they weren't people that I sought out to see every day or to whatever. But there's a new couple down the road, and we've been doing things like I give them eggs and they give me vegetables and or bread. He said he'd make sourdough bread, and he's going to show me how to do the sourdough was the starter and stuff like that. So yeah. I do think that I would like to do a premiere. I like the idea of when I see people do premieres that, well, let me back up. Here goes my circular talk. I don't know how well I'll ever be able to do lives. Although this seems to be okay. I'm sitting in the truck. It seems to be, it doesn't seem to be cutting out. So maybe the trick is to sit outside. So I don't know about doing lives. I don't know about getting moderators and all of that. I don't know. I'm not ready for all of that, but I don't know how all of that quite works. But I do like the idea of doing a premiere because I like the idea of being able to be in chat while it premieres. The thing I don't understand, I think, is, and I haven't really looked into, the thing I don't understand is, I guess you just make a video like normal and just post it. I think the premiere is probably the next little baby step up I'll take on YouTube. Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate you for inviting me, and thank you everybody for watching. And I really appreciate, I'm pretty timid at all this, so I really appreciate patient people helping me along. Yeah, there's storm clouds now, and it's kind of been off and on raining, so I expect it looks like it's going to storm tonight. So thank you, everyone. See you.